director for many years and dealing with the teens and their comments, and they're very forthright in how they share, their family dynamics. Well, they'll say, my parents are against me. There was this kind of divide, and it's so untrue because, like in your case, you have your daughter's back. You are watching out for your daughter, and that is a beautiful thing because in this world, there's not many people that care, but you do because you are her mother. And the thing about it is when I grew up, my parents were like, we're not your friends. We're not your friends. We're your parents. We're going to protect you. We're going to take care of you. We're going to guide you. We're not out to be your best friend. And what I love about what you're doing is your daughter, there must be such an incredible safety that she feels because she knows you've got her covered. You are protecting her. I think that is wonderful. Your daughter's blessed. And I hope she realizes that. What do you think?
Yeah, she's actually thanked me on a couple of occasions, which I was very surprised about. So, you have to look out for your kids. This day and age, there's so many, there's just so much going on that. I try to not be like that helicopter parent, but I think that at 13 years old, there's so much that when you're raising your children with the values that I'm trying to, there's so much out there who, like we said, we're the minority, and there's so many people who just, all things are, okay, and that's not our beliefs. So we really have to, it's my job, like you said, and I say it to my kids all the time. I say, I didn't bring you into this world to be your friend. I brought you into this world to be your parent. And it's really difficult at this age.
Yeah, but you're a great mom. You're a fabulous mom, and way to go. We're going to pray around you. Yeah, we're going to pray because we have to support one another, and in prayer we can do that. And then we will definitely tell Dr. Ray, Sherry. I'm sure he'll be really happy. He comes on next. So.
All right, yeah, and somebody listening, you've got to call Dr. Ray's show and mention Jerry and Debbie. Okay,
exactly.
Thank you, Sherry, for the call. Shannon, right before we get to you, I just wanted to, this is an extreme example, and we have no idea if there was parental access to the this boy's account or what have you, or any of the details about this. But Debbie, there's even that case of that young girl, that young lady who, via text message, encouraged her boyfriend to die by suicide, and he did. Right. And she actually was convicted of his death. I think she got a rather light sentence, but it just goes to show, and again, please God, I know, again, that's an extreme example, but still, what parent wouldn't want to know if some kind of correspondence like that is going on with one of their kids? So,
Well, bullying now is happening all through Facebook and texting as well, Jerry. So it's just, we have to stay up with the times and know what's going on out there. There's new techniques to do the same horrendous actions to one another via these smartphones and other things. So we have to stay up on it. I think it's just we have to keep up with what's going on in our kids' lives. And I think it's a healthy discussion to have today, especially as Christians, because we, like Sherry was saying, we're in the minority. We're trying to make sure that our kids are safe and have that Christian upbringing. Okay, Shannon, you are up next in East Texas, listening on, is it iTunes?
iTunes, yeah.
I didn't know you can listen on iTunes. That's so cool, Shannon. Way to go. Welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Hi, thank you. My husband and I, we share everything, but I was just going to call in and say that, marriage tends to bring out like a whole lot of, those flaws and those occasions for sin, like Rose was saying, and just, to become and raise saints, it's amazing what marriage, can do for that. My husband and I, we came into the church together after we got married. We've been married for 9 years. And we were both orchestra directors together, and we're both professional musicians, violinists, and we kind of shared that same dream on the just becoming a great orchestra conductor, and it's kind of a an ego selfish kind of a thing, but at some point, just the musician thing, it's just all it's just go very how do you say, just there's a lot, like there's never any stopping work. And I feel like that, the world will tell you to, stay busy. And what is success? Well, success is just being the best at what you do. And, and he and I were kind of going along with that. And then God called us to the church. And now 6 kids later, I am now a stay-at-home mother. And he's continuing to do that, but in a different way. He's God has really called him to, slow down and and in his work, he's able to evangelize, and it's just a complete 180 shift. But he's able to continue the dream that I thought I had. And there's been a whole lot of jealousy and it's brought out a lot of selfishness on my part that I didn't even know was there. And, we've both gone through this just drastic change on just dying to ourselves and just becoming completely different people, in our marriage and in raising children. And so it's just kind of been an amazing journey for us. And, we share everything. We joke about the only thing I won't share is my violin with him because I don't like how my violin feels after he's been playing it. But I don't know. It's been kind of a really amazing journey for us in that. So.
Right. Well, Shannon, I love what you had to say about dying to self, and you were talking about just surrendering and really just going along with God's will. And with that comes this peeling away of all these things that we desire, our human desires, and we're still confronted with that in the world. I mean, when I was born, everybody thought I was going to be a golf pro, and I had to peel that away a million times, and it still hits me when I watch Sunday golf on TV. It still hits me. There are those things, but in God's plan, I believe anyway, I've seen it over 50 plus years, Shannon, that when you do when they say God is my co-pilot or however those bumper stickers, when you let God kind of drive the car, it's so fascinating where he takes you because you never could imagine where he's going to take you, and yet it's so incredible, and you find yourself flourishing in a way that you never could have if you held on to those human desires. And so I don't know if you can resonate with that, Shannon, but I know in my life it's really helped me. And I just want to say real quickly, you said you had 6 kids. Tell the youngest of that 6, because I'm the youngest of 6, that youngest holds a special place in my heart. But go ahead, Jerry. You go ahead and share what you wanted to share with Shannon.
No, I just think another beautiful call, Shannon, and congratulations on, God leading you and your husband simultaneously into the church. I think you said after you were married, and now the beautiful 6 kids that you have. And no, I just think it's beautiful. And one thing that struck me is, and this doesn't apply, necessarily, Shannon, to your situation, but it came into my mind as you were talking. We've talked about trust, in terms of shared accounts and so forth. Really, that can work either way. I mean, one spouse has to trust the other one with access or permission or what have you, or if they want to keep things separate, then it requires that trust that, everything's going to be on the up and up and so forth. So really, it can go one way and can go either way. That's just, again, it's not necessarily relevant to your situation, Shannon, but that's a thought that came to my mind. So anything else, Shannon?
That's interesting. Yeah, Shannon, how would you encourage other young families? I mean, it sounds like you have a really beautiful chemistry between you and your husband and your entire family. There's 8 of you now, so that's awesome. How would you encourage other young families?
I would just say, just to the women, just, be supportive of your husband and just don't, I think it's really, really hard in this day and age. And I see this a lot of, women just, there's still that drive to, be the quote unquote successful, career woman and things like that. And, and sometimes, and God will call women to do that. But, if God is calling you to, in a different direction or calling success something else than what you thought it was, just go with it and just approach it with a lot of prayer and humility. And, you'll see things that you couldn't have even dreamed were possible. And in your life. So I've just been blessed so much since I've just quit trying to force the doors open and just really let God lead. And so it's just let God lead.
Yeah, exactly. Let him drive the car. And Shannon, here's the thing: your husband's dreams that come to fruition, those are your shared. They're shared successes. You know, the children that you are giving birth to, that's a shared experience. Everything is shared, and that's what's so beautiful about marriage, is that it's all shared. You know, my husband's in real estate, and I really think that I helped in helping him sell homes when I cook him that really wonderful breakfast in the morning, because I like to give him a hot meal before he goes out the door. I feel like it's a shared thing. If he sells a house, I'm like, wow, maybe if he didn't eat breakfast, he would be too tired and he wouldn't be able to do the deal that way. Whatever. But it's shared. You see where I'm going with this? And Shannon, you tapped into it. I think it's a really important lesson that we all need to learn.
Yes,
Very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Shannon, for your call. And,
Thank you. Thank you.
Bless you. Dan, we're going to go right to you here momentarily. First, though, I was just looking up Church Pop today. Folks, if you don't get to their regular emails, Church POP, it is an outreach of EWTN, churchpop.com. Always fascinating articles. And actually, there's one on the meme-sharing bishop. All right, there's a bishop somewhere in the world. I think he's in Australia. But he puts these memes together and sends them out on, speaking of social media. So log on to Church Pop and learn about that. Plus, there's an article on the forgotten spiritual power of blessed salt. All right, it is a sacramental and all kinds of other good stuff. So don't forget, folks, churchpop.com, and you can register there with your email address, as I do and Debbie does, and get those daily. They come, early in the wee hours of the morning, and I log on and check and see what's on there. Always good stuff. So
I love Church Pop. Okay, just another shout out to Father King, who called earlier but dropped. You're probably busy, Father. You've got your priestly duties, but you're in Portland, Oregon. If you're listening, you could quickly call in. I hear you were Jerry's classmate in the seminary. I didn't know that, Jerry.
I think that's him, yeah.
I was going to ask him if you were a good student.
Don't call, Father. Don't call back.
Okay, Dan, you've been waiting so patiently in Las Cruces, New Mexico, listening on Sirius XM 130. We're having fun today, Dan. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. I wanted to kind of go back to the previous, not this last caller, but the one before, and her struggles with kind of reining things in with her kids. Me and my wife are at-home parents, homeschool parents. I work outside the home. We're traditional Catholics. I don't believe that we're, helicopter parents like she had claimed. But my question is, have we abdicated our roles as parents and the proper roles as parents to the society and the culture at large, or has the society and the culture inserted itself into our family life that's creating the problems that we're seeing in our families?
It's a good question, and
really
I think the answer, Dan, is probably in the affirmative, in the sense of the culture is definitely influencing marriage in ways that it never did before. Parenting, family life, all of these things. I think the comment has been made more than once today on the show, Debbie, that and probably everyone who's a mom or a dad listening right now would say, yeah, parenting is tough. I mean, it's glorious, it's beautiful, it's joyful. You bring those little ones into the world, but I can't remember which of the callers said, Debbie, I think it was Rose maybe, said, I didn't bring you into the world to be your friend, but to be your parent. And when we think of the ultimate, what is the ultimate responsibility of a parent? That is to form that child so that he or she will make the right decisions for Christ and make it into eternal life in heaven.
Yeah.
And so that's
absolutely.
not, it's
a big responsibility.
It's very serious stuff. Yeah, it's very serious stuff. So I don't know. What do you think about Dan's? Go ahead, Dan.
Well, I think what we've done as a church is we've lost the true meaning of the sacrament of marriage and what our sacramental roles are as mother and father. And it's kind of the chicken before the egg. Did we let the feminist movement move in, or did we bring that feminist movement into the church, or vice versa? That kind of started and created this whole dynamic where everybody's abdicating responsibility and their roles as parents to somebody else, whether it's a family member or if it's the church or if it's school. It's just kind of one of those catch-22s. And how do you draw that back to where we get to the point where we are parents again as a whole, individually, but as a community as well.
Well, as a religious educator, Dan, we used to. This has been going on for many years. Actually, the culture has just invaded our homes, and you look at reality TV, the way reality TV has sprung up, and now people watch that and think that's really what's happening in real life, and so people are dictating their lives based on reality television, which is just it's crazy to even watch, but. Dan, what we used to share in religious education is we used to encourage the families to really create an environment that was uniquely different, really create that domestic church in the home with unique rituals and practices and, different ways that the family interacted and grew spiritually and created very separate from what was going on in the day-to-day world of the children. And believe it or not, the children loved that. They loved that safe haven of going into their home, and their home was a peaceful home, a home that was Christ-centered, a home that gave them that safety net where they could go and they could be themselves. It wasn't, overly restrictive in the sense where they felt oppressed and all these things that people say that having Christian homes can make kids feel, which is just not true. But if it's done the right way, in a really wholesome way, kids gravitate towards that. I know that we did my theology degree was in adolescent spirituality, and I did case scenarios, and kids wanted a home. That was a home that was very different from what they experienced in the real world. And it sounds like you, Dan, you have really created that in your home. So I just say more power to you. What do you think about that? Yeah, sorry. What do you think, Dan, real quickly?
We have no TV. We don't watch anything on the internet. We monitor everything that's in there. We monitor the reading material that's in our home. We use Seton Home Study School. We're very particular about those things for that very reason. That is a sanctuary from the outside world for a specific reason. And my role as a parent is to make sure that I'm forming my kids and getting them to heaven, because that's what I have to answer for when I'm standing at the pearly gates, and that scares me.
Yeah.
And that's what motivates me.
Dan, the fact that you understand that and take it seriously is greatly in your children's favor. So bless you, brother. Thank you so much for the call. We've got several more lines remain full as we talk about this topic of shared accounts and accountability and transparency and trust. And we do have Father King back on the line from Portland, Oregon. Not many people get called out personally by name to call into the show. Father King, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, Father.
Father, are you there? Oh, my goodness.
Father, we see your name on the screen. We hope you can hear us. We can't get
let's have Matt check in with him there, and hopefully
we're running out of time. We got to get Father on.
Well, we will, and we hopefully get to Christine as well. Just wanted to mention we had a text message. Hi, Debbie and Jerry. He put Debbie first, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Says, my name is Mel, and I'm listening from work. I love this topic. Unfortunately, my marriage recently ended due to a lack of transparency, which made way for rampant infidelities. Mm-hmm. From experience, I can truly say a marriage only works when the two people view themselves as one and give themselves freely and totally. Yes. Secrets and lack of transparency will only lead to a demise of marriage and make it easy to hide a double life. While you cannot force someone to be transparent, if they are unwilling, it is a sign they are not trustworthy. Be on the lookout. So there's a little bit of a warning from our listener Mel. Debbie. Mm-hmm.
I think that was a really great comment for us to just take note of. Okay, we actually lost Father King again. So, Father, you'll have to think about it over the weekend and tell us next week what kind of student Jerry was in the seminary. Christine, do we have time? Christine, this is going to be so quick. We got 60 seconds, but you're in Tampa, Florida. We hope you're safe there, Christine. We're praying for all of Florida. Welcome to Take Two. Hi, Christine. We got to go fast. Okay, we're
having some technical problems. Yeah.
We are. Okay.
All right, Christine, that wasn't your fault. Father King, you called twice today, and we apologize. Apparently, I don't know. Charles, are you there in Walla Walla?
Yes.
Okay. Charles, we got about a minute for you to share with whatever's on your heart for this topic. So go ahead, Charles. Welcome.
Just a little comment. Mel kind of hit it pretty square. I decided after my marriage failed and after 12 years and decided I would never allow a woman to have her name on my titles or on my bank accounts, nothing ever again.
Wow. So
but
after...
You got to trust them. And if you can't trust, what's the point?
So if you do trust the person, you know, if you feel like there's a good element of trust, then shared accounts seems it just seems very seamless. Is that what you're saying, Charles? Because being burned, I mean, that could really be difficult. Yeah.
For me, it'll never happen again.
Okay, so you're never going to put yourself out there to get hurt again.
Not like that, no.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. I can relate to that, Charles, because it actually happened to me as well. But it took me a while. But God has put Marty in my life, and it has just been so amazing. I've learned to grow in trust in leaps and bounds, and it does take a while because it does hurt. It hurts tremendously, Jerry, when that trust is betrayed.
I'm sure it does. Charles, thank you for sharing that with us. We appreciate that. Maggie, we are just really up against the clock here. And again, apologies to those of you who we tried to go to there, and apparently there was maybe a little glitch in the phone system there. But interesting timing, Debbie, and I don't know that we planned this. I think I put today's topic and Monday's both on the show calendar that you and I keep populated with topics. And Monday's show is actually monitoring your children. So it's maybe going to be a kind of a continuation of this conversation. Yeah, are you vigilant in every area of your children's lives? You know, do they get magazines in the mail like Teen Vogue that you would never want them reading some of that trash? Or what about school textbooks? I mean, do you sit down and say, honey, come over here, I want to look through your textbooks? Or, you know, again, gadgets, social media, the sports and activities that they're involved in. Debbie, we've heard the phrase today a couple times, helicopter parents. You know, people don't want to be hovering over their kids every moment, but as Dan and others have pointed out, there has to be that vigilance, that monitoring, just to make sure that their very formative years are very fruitful.
Absolutely. Thank you so much to everyone who participated on today's show. We really grew from this show. We appreciate it. Jerry, I have that quirky sense of humor. I was a homeroom mom every single year for my kids, and I used to walk in on the first day of school, and I would say to the teacher, so where's my desk? And they would say, you're not in elementary school anymore, Debbie. I know. What can I say?
Wow, great week of shows. Again, tomorrow, Surviving Suicide, the encore Best of Take Two with Jerry and Debbie from Wednesday with our guest Dave Muth, whose family still grieving the loss of their daughter by suicide a couple of years ago. So be with us tomorrow, noon Eastern, for that.
So, dear listeners, we just want to wish you a beautiful and blessed weekend. Keep up the prayers for the Take Two family. Will you do that for us? God bless you. We'll see you real soon.